folks. Running a few minutes behind, waiting on our guests to get here. But we're going to go ahead and get this thing kicked off. We got some real good stuff to talk about today. It's actually where the theme music's supposed to come in so y'all can get the dramatic effect of what we're going to be discussing. But I'm going to get right into it, though. First of all, let me let y'all know, for those of you that have not seen the show before, this is the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show where we talk about real life real estate situations, but we bring you real life real estate solutions. Man, I gotta say that again for what's been going on in the world of real estate in the last week or so. I'm gonna say that again. This is the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show, where we talk about real life real estate situations, but we definitely gonna bring y'all some real life real estate solutions. My guest today is Mr. Kendall Ficklin. He got caught in a little traffic, but we're gonna go ahead and kick this thing off. So for those of you that are joining me today, thank you all for joining. Go ahead and hit the share button. And if you don't get the notifications when we go live, I don't know why not, but go ahead and make sure you set your notifications for when we go live every Wednesday at noon. It is our goal to always strive to be on time, but how many of you know that life happens? And for those of you that are joining us, go ahead and share in your different groups as I am doing now. And for those of you, sometimes, I got a whole lot of groups that I'm in that I try to share to, and sometimes I forget what the actual rules of the group are. So sometimes I share and I remember which ones I'm not supposed to share to, and I don't remember the ones I'm not supposed to share to. So please forgive me if I'm sharing in the ones that I am not supposed to, but I do believe that the topic of discussion on today and any day, especially when we're talking about things that are affecting the whole real estate investment community, I think they're necessarily things that need to be shared in different areas. But this is definitely something that we need to be talking about. Shout out to John Stafford, say he wants a Wholesale Lives Matter shirt. We're going to talk about Wholesale Lives Matter shirts. The Wholesale Lives Matter shirts, I want to make sure y'all can catch that. We're going to be talking about the Wholesale Lives Matter shirts throughout the show. We are going to be doing pre-orders. There's my man coming in now. So we go ahead and get this thing kicked off.
What's happening?
Come on round.
What's going on?
Appreciate you joining me, man.
Yes,
Appreciate you
sir.
joining me. So we got a couple folks that are chiming in with us so far. You do this enough.
I do this. I do this.
You do this. Right.
Okay.
So for those of you all don't know, I don't know how many of y'all that will be joining us that wouldn't know, but this is my man. This is the man.
My man.
The myth, the legend, Mr. Masterkey himself.
Man, appreciate you, man.
Mr. Kendall Ficklin II. Thank you for joining, man. Thank you for definitely being here today, man. I was just telling the folks, man, that we got some major stuff to get into today, man.
I'm with it. Let's get into it all.
See. I represented yesterday. I had to represent again today.
Fire. Hey, look, I'm waiting for the merch to come out. That's
right. It's coming. I was just telling the folks we're gonna be talking about it.
I need to share it. I share this.
It's actually shared on your page.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
right,
so
cool.
It'll keep on rolling.
All right.
So the major thing, man, that we talked about yesterday, we're gonna get into a whole bunch of stuff. I want to cover the whole spectrum of things real estate related. I know we're gonna talk about wholesaling specifically, but I don't think really people understand even just the nugget of wholesaling, how major of an impact that has on the investment community as a whole. So I want to definitely get into that, and I know you can speak to that.
Yeah.
So let me do my brother a proper introduction. He just came in and graced me with his presence, as he did with y'all. But I want to give him a proper introduction. This is Mr. Kendall Ficklin, Mr. Kendall Ficklin II, Mr. Masterkey Investments,
Yes, sir.
The lead instructor for the art of wholesaling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It gets no better than that. When you got somebody that's got enough knowledge and experience and expertise to talk to something specific as this, you know, it definitely goes without saying, you know, I appreciate you being here, brother.
Man,
you know, I
thank
got to shake your hand again,
I
man.
appreciate you having me, man, for real. Like, it's always a pleasure, man. Like I tell you, anytime, you know what I mean? It's always a pleasure for me to come by and be on this platform with you. First off, I just want to salute you for your consistency.
Yes.
That's the biggest
You know,
thing,
we had a little bit of situation, man. We fell off for a minute, family situation, but we back on, man. And the thing is, man, it's folks like yourself, man, that I know you do this. You share this information on a consistent basis, but it's folks like you that make this platform necessary because of what you have to share. And all I do on a regular basis is echo what you're doing anyway. You know what I mean? And I think enough of that consistency on a regular with most of us, all that we do is going to be, I believe, what helps us. I don't even want to use the word heal because we ain't hurting.
Yeah,
you
we ain't that broke. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I feel what you're saying.
Yeah,
It's like, you know, sometimes repetition is the biggest thing. You know what I'm saying? And I was watching a Gary Vee video the other day, and he was talking. It was like a keynote. And he was talking about how, hey, I don't have nothing new to say. I've been saying the same thing for the past 10 years. But his thing is that I'm just hoping that I have to figure out how to say the same thing a million different ways so that maybe you can catch it at the right time when I'm in the right place, saying it in the right way.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of, you know, what we got to keep doing with this.
That's real. That's real. We got a couple folks that's jumping on, man, and I want to definitely say thank you all for joining us. Salute to y'all. Don't forget to share this because, again, we need to make sure as many people hear this information that we're going to share today as possible.
Absolutely.
So let's you know, some people watching might have an idea of the things that we want to address specifically. So I think we'll jump in, man. We'll go ahead and kick that elephant that's in the room.
Let's do it.
So for those of you who don't know, there's been some, I'll call it noise, about wholesaling and the legitimacy of wholesaling. Now, a lot of this has been going on for quite some time, even before most recent, you know, things that have come out. And I think a lot of times when you have that chatter in the background, and we'll talk about it, not just specific to what we're doing, but we're talking about this. But when there's chatter in the background, most of the times what we have done, we've risen above it and we kept it moving. But I think when some people start to try and beat the drum, for lack of a better way of saying it, possibly their own game.
Mostly.
You're right.
Mostly their own game.
It's necessary for us to address it in a sense, but not address it. And the reason I say that is because the thing you shine a light on the most, and sometimes gets the most attention.
Facts.
And what I want to shine a light on is what we do, how we do it, and how it's a major impact on the lives of the people that we get an opportunity to change. Not just from a buyer seller perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, but from an impact, man, from the investor that buys the house and fixes it up and sell it, from the closing attorney, from the title company, from the contractor. I mean, we could go on and on, man.
Up to the agent.
Right. All the way to the agent who ultimately gets the listing and gets a good amount of money for not doing a small percentage of what we do.
Exactly. And to go to your point, like you were saying, deeper than just buyers and sellers. At the end of the day, this is a business that everybody gets into who are actually doing the business. They do it to feed their family.
Absolutely.
Right? And the definition of business, I mean, you don't have a business if you're not making money.
That's real.
Right? So if you're calling yourself a business, you're in it to make some money.
Definitely.
Right? So I think that, you know, and I teach, like when I do my art of wholesaling bootcamp, in my first session of the bootcamp, we talk about the foundation, right? And during that session, my biggest thing, not the biggest thing, but part of the biggest things that I like to tell people is the benefit of what you bring to the marketplace as a wholesaler. So that we can understand that we don't have to feel any type of way about the money that we make. You don't have to feel, because like you said, you're being challenged on different fronts. Because it's like, oh, you're a wholesaler. Like, since when did this become like a negative term? You see what I'm saying? You're like, I can look at a flipper. Oh, you're a flipper. Like, you're taking advantage of these people and you're making 60 grand, 70 grand on a house. Oh, you're a flipper. You're wrong. Like,
Right.
I mean, who's to say, you know? And everybody picks their position in the game, the position that they want to play.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So this ain't like basketball. If you 7 foot, you go and play the 5.
Right.
This ain't like that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
This is like you can pick and choose what you want to do. So if you want to be a contractor, if you want to be a wholesaler, a flipper,
Yes.
or an agent, those things come with a specific type of, what's the word I'm looking for? Order of operations.
Yes.
Meaning how
Yes.
you do business and what you do within that field.
Right.
And
Right.
not only that, it comes with also a certain price tag.
Definitely.
Right? So even as an agent, you
Definitely.
can sell $1 million homes or you can sell low income homes.
Right.
Those checks are different. It just depends on what you're doing. You know,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
a wholesaler, you can do low end, low hanging fruit houses, ARV 50 to 60 grand, and your wholesale checks would be 3 to 4 or 5 grand.
Yeah.
Or you can wholesale at that 250 to 350, make them $10,000-$15,000 checks. You have the choice,
Definitely.
and that's the beautiful thing about the game.
You know, and it's the thing that you said something that's very important that I think people miss in many cases. You have a choice. You have a choice. Now, of course, like you said, with certain levels of the game, it requires a certain amount of investment on your part.
Exactly.
Because it takes dough to make bread.
Yep.
Keep it 100.
Definitely.
and wholesaling just happens to be the low hanging fruit area because it's the I guess the least barrier of entry.
Exactly.
Because you can get into wholesaling, man. Probably, a lot of people teach you can do it with no money, no credit, this,
Yep.
that, and the other, which is true.
I mean, realistically, you can get into wholesaling with a tax refund check.
You can.
I mean, like, just realistically, and you can
Wait,
get
wait.
in the game with a tax refund
She
check.
just gave y'all $1,000 worth of game right there.
I'm telling you, and tax refund. I mean, it's coming up 2-3 months.
It's coming up.
It would
It's coming
behoove
up.
you if you want to get in the game right now. Get your education.
Yes.
Start getting your
Yes.
education. Come
Yes.
to a class. Come to an event. Something. Start learning YouTube. Whatever it is that you want to do.
Definitely.
And you get that tax refund check. Invest in a mentor, and the rest of that is for marketing. And you in the game.
Yeah. And I can't ring that bell enough for again what you just
Oh,
said.
you gotta get the mentor.
Gotta get a mentor, man. I think we've had so many people that come around and sell people an idea that you can do this with no money and no credit. And what they miss is that while you can do that, you need somebody to guide you through on how to do that the right way.
Exactly.
Because YouTube University is only going to take you
It's
so
only
far.
gonna give you so much. It's only gonna give you so much.
Right,
you
right,
can
right.
go and do it. I tell people this: it doesn't take money to make money, but it takes money to consistently make money.
Yes.
That's
yes,
the thing. You feel what I'm
yes,
saying? So
right.
having that mentor, like I tell people all the time, listen, you can do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But if you're asking me,
Mhm.
when I didn't have a mentor, I didn't make money.
Right.
When I got a mentor, I started making money.
It's that simple. It's that simple. And then, I guess to some people money is relative in a sense,
Yeah.
or how much money they make is
Yeah.
relative in a sense. Because when I got started, man, I paid for the course. I bought the Carter Sheets course, years ago.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until, I read the course, it gave me all the meat of what I needed to do, and I started doing it. But it wasn't until, because they told me that piece in there, put your power team together.
Yep.
As I put my power team together, I ran into a guy who happened to be a real estate attorney.
Okay.
Now, he wasn't a closing attorney. He was a real estate attorney.
Okay.
This was in Michigan. Totally blew me away. And when he started hearing me regurgitate the information that I had learned,
Yeah.
it intrigued him. So he took enough out of his time to say, let me show you how to get this done the right way.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Get your back office right, your contracts.
It
paperwork,
got all of
everything
that,
like
yes.
Okay.
Came to the closer with me, closed my first deal.
Okay.
And I was like, man, if it had not been for him, I would have eventually, possibly, maybe, almost came close to getting one done.
Get one done, exactly.
But it takes, like you said, it takes somebody to grab you by the hand and say, come on, let me get you on down this road.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So at least you can get a feeling for what it's like.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you gotta have it.
Yeah. So I want to go back a little bit and talk about, and give the folks a little bit of insight. We don't have a whole lot of insight. We got a little bit of what went on and how can we. Let me change. Let me make this a kumbaya moment. How can we work together to see to it that everybody puts themselves in position to win?
Exactly.
So
you know what? I've been thinking a lot about this the past couple days. Maybe what's today? Thursday,
Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Probably like the last 4 or 5 days I've been thinking about this, right?
You trying to hurry up and get that Thanksgiving
And
dinner,
yeah, right. Exactly. We over there putting together everything now.
Right.
So I was just thinking, man. I was like, I started reflecting just on my journey as an entrepreneur over the past 18 years. Everything I've seen, all the businesses, the different personalities and things like that. And here's the first thing I realized: in order for people to work together, they got to want to work together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And as the individual in the field, you have to be okay with the people who don't want to work together.
Yeah.
That's the first thing, right? So let's just clear out where we would love to be, like you would say, the kumbaya. We would love that, right? But the reality of the situation is that in every business, including ours, there's snakes, there's people who are off for sale, there's people who would rather see you getting less and them getting more. All these things occur. So this is like the natural cycle of life. People do this in general.
Yeah.
So the first thing is, okay, let's first get with the people who really want to know how we can do business together. First step, right? Once we do that, then we have to explain to each party what it is that they bring to the table.
Right.
So for instance, as a wholesaler, as a flipper, as an attorney, as a contractor, as an agent, what do each of us bring to the table to make this whole transaction come to life? You see what I'm saying? And what is the benefit of each person's role?
Right.
Once that's understood and respected, that's the biggest thing. It has to be respected. Once that's understood and respected, at that point, then we can move forward into actually doing business.
Yes.
But until it's respected, what the wholesaler brings to the table, what the contractor brings to the table, what the attorney brings to the table, we won't be able to work together.
That's right.
Right? And I know this because I had one of my guys ask me one time, he was like, yo, how do you avoid getting into weird situations like in the business? Because I don't have a lot of, like crazy situations dealing with individuals who do foul things, right? And I pick and choose very wisely who I choose to work with.
Absolutely.
Because I understand that everybody isn't here and playing the game the way that I'm playing.
Right.
You got dirty players.
Yeah.
You got people who are upstanding players. People, and everybody just has to understand that if you're gonna be on the team, let's play like a team.
Yes.
And that's the biggest thing. I think that it's a shame. Matter of fact, I'm even gonna say that. I think it's a shame across the board when people do come out and put things on individuals that shouldn't be put on individuals.
Yes.
And don't do their homework, right? But I also know that it's the reality.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Coming from where I come from, like, it's the reality. In the streets, you have to deal with the same thing.
Yeah.
In the barbershop, we have to deal with the same thing. Like, in all my business endeavors, you always have those people that you like, it's always one. It's always one. Like, you got to be the one.
There's got to be, and I'm stretching here, man. I'm stretching here. There's got to be some type of resolution to things like that.
It is.
Now maybe it's my fairy tale way of thinking, that I believe that there's a way for us to all peacefully coexist in what we do. You
know what it is, Glenn? I liken this to so like I said, I've been an entrepreneur for 18 years when it wasn't sexy. When everybody like, yo, what's wrong with you? You need to get a job. Like, you're tripping. Like, what's up with your life? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is in real talk. Like, I was shamed for being this until it got something that everybody wanted to be.
Right.
But I correlate this to that because it's like back then, if you had the degree, you looked at the diploma or the person who did as trash. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like an agent. I got the license.
Yes.
You don't.
Right.
I feel like I'm more solidified, certified than you. And that is the problem. You feel what I'm saying? You can't even respect the person who is doing business in a way that you weren't taught because it's not your law, your code.
Well, here's what I say to that. And anybody that gets in business and anybody that gets, we'll put it this way. Now, we hear folks talk about their experience of growing up in the street. And, we know how that happens. But then we look at the college student who didn't experience any of that. When got their degree and they're living that nice little chummy life. Nothing ain't no people with college degrees. The smartest person is the person that got the smarts from the street. Because because you learn what happened in the street, you learn real hustle. You learn real grind. You didn't learn just that 1 + 1 = 2,
Exactly.
and the parallelogram has to line up with the
with the A, B, C,
right.
X, Y, no, yeah,
right. So for people who just get a license and then grind like what we do, like what we do is a grind. It's a real grind.
Exactly.
If you didn't experience that, you're missing a whole major piece of what it takes to be successful in what we do.
Exactly.
You know, and I'm not saying that it's not possible for people to become successful in their own area.
Yeah.
But you got to understand, you got to have your ear to the ground. And I think the pulse, having your finger on that pulse is what's going to keep your consistency going.
And to go to your point, intelligence is understanding that, and not to say that if you're an agent and you don't do this, you're dumb. But if you want to be you got to have strategy.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
Everything requires strategy. You
Yeah.
feel what I'm saying? No matter what it is. And as an agent, it would behoove you to look and see, hey, okay, they getting pretty good money over here on these HUD statements that I'm seeing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on over there? And can you tell me how you do that? And can I do it too?
Yeah.
Because a lot of agents also have this misconception that they can't wholesale and be an agent.
Right.
Which has also caused a little animosity.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, I can't do what you do. Because you see what I'm saying? So I think there's a way for those of us who want to be successful and come together to come together. I actually think it's more easier. I think it's pretty easy.
Definitely.
Personally, I just think that we got to be grown. You got to be mature. Stop being a kid. Like, grow up.
I love how you keep it elementary, man, for
Yeah,
folks, man.
like,
it don't take no hold.
You ain't got to do all this. Like, just grow up. Stop counting people's
Yeah.
pockets. Stop being upset. Like, even from, and I'm not even going to kill the agents on the whole thing. Even as wholesalers.
Yeah.
Sometimes we hate on the agent. Oh, so you going to tell that seller they can get $20,000 more? You killing my deal. You see what I'm saying? Like, because the agent is like, if they get $20,000 more, my 6% or 3% goes.
Right.
So it's like one of those things where it's like, okay, you got to understand and respect the game.
Yeah.
Like, just respect it. If she was able to build, or he was able to build a rapport to where that seller decided, I don't want to go with a wholesaler, I'm going to go with the agent. Right? And they want to do that, that's part of the game, man. I respect it. But if they decide they want to come for me for the convenience and the speed, it's part of the game.
Okay, come on, man. You gotta give us that what you gave us yesterday, bro. You
killed it. So
you killed us with that, man.
I was saying, like, yesterday, like you got, like, people gotta understand for us, and that's why I was saying, like, it's a business, because, and I ain't gonna go too far off track, but sometimes it just kills me for us, our people.
Yes,
we are like, oh, we so woke that we sleep. We so woke that we sleep. It's killing me. Like, you so woke that you broke.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we gotta understand, yes, we want to help our people, but can't none of us help nobody until we help ourselves first. Immediately. Yourself and your family.
Absolutely.
Then you start venturing out and helping other people, but you can't do that unless you get yourself together. And I tell people all the time, listen, we are in this business to solve problems that equal checks.
Yes.
Now, if the problem solved did not come with a check at the end, will we be that prone to solve it? Let's be real.
Right.
How much value are we really trying to add? We're trying to add so much value that we can't even pay our rent.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I was telling people, as wholesalers specifically, we trade speed and convenience for equity.
Yes.
Right? And that's the thing. That's what a seller understands. Like, if I have the old iPhone, right? And I can go and I can post it on Craigslist or eBay, and wait and do a auction style, and wait to get the price up as high as possible. But let's say that my phone bill is due tomorrow and I need $100.
Buy it now.
You feel what I'm saying? I'm not trying to sell it for $400. Take this $400. I might go up the street. I might hit the little machine box in Walmart and see how much they gonna give me, because I'm trying to get it done quick.
For sure.
And everybody's situation is different.
Absolutely.
So let's not be upset with the individual who's, as an agent, don't be mad at the individual who's willing to not wait for you to have to put the package together, the listing package, sign the document, then list it, then wait for the offers to come in. 3 days later, convene with you about the offers, then pick one. Then wait for them to close. You feel what I'm saying? Wait for them to come and show it. We got to do. If they don't want to do that, and they rather say, you know what, I want this done quickly, conveniently, and I don't mind giving this guy some equity to do it.
Right.
What's the problem?
That's it in a nutshell, man. Charlotte, say it again.
We trade speed and convenience for equity.
That's for real.
That's all. But you know what? that's the value add.
Absolutely.
Because when
Absolutely.
you need the speed and convenience, you got somewhere to go.
Definitely.
I was telling somebody on my stories the other day and my brother was laughing at me because my brother was like, man, people always hit you with deals and be like, yo, I gotta close in 3-4 days.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, and he like, yo, it's crazy because like I probably like 70% from the field, closing them, but that's the speed and convenience.
Yes.
My guy was willing to hold it for 3 weeks and try to get 15,000 off of it, and then you like, yo, I'll take 3.
Right.
Just get it done in 3 days. The convenience.
You know what's that? They say a quick nickel beats a slow dime.
Slow down all day, every day,
all day long. Like, yo, give me that 5 cents.
Let me get that. I'm cool.
I got that.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm gonna just add that to the bottom. We're gonna go get some more.
Hey, keep it moving.
Yep.
Keep it moving. So let me. I wanna make sure people are clear on what it is we're speaking of specifically. All right. So there was a situation where there was a we'll say a misunderstanding of how a transaction was handled. As Kendall so eloquently, said it, we trade speed and convenience for equity. And there was a scenario where a property was contracted because, and now we're gonna make sure on this show, we're gonna tell the specifics. We're gonna get to the bottom line of this. There was a person, I'm not gonna say,
Yeah, don't keep no names
There was a person who sought out a wholesaler from a bandit sign. A person sought out, so this person knew that they were intending on selling a property.
Exactly.
Right? So they called up a person from a bandit sign. A bandit sign is a sign, one of those signs that says we buy houses. So they called this person up. The person agreed to buy the house. The person went to meet with this person and they contracted to sell the house. Then from that scenario, the wholesaler then called up another group of wholesalers and said, hey, listen, I have a property under contract. Do you know somebody who will be interested in buying it? Okay. Now, there are some people that are watching that are specific to the situation. If I'm getting off track anywhere, get me in line. But from that scenario, the property then closed. The wholesalers that went to find the buyer contracted with the buyer to buy at a set price that they set.
Exactly.
Had nothing to do with what the wholesaler that contracted with the seller, no taking advantage of anything or none of that.
Nothing.
Had nothing to do with I'm gonna beat you down and get your price lower.
Exactly.
Had nothing to do with any of that. There was an opportunity that was presented that now I'm gonna go and find a buyer and put them with this seller, and we're gonna make this transaction happen.
Exactly.
And that's how it came together, and the transaction happened. Now, that was not. And in a scenario like that, that's not common practice, but it's not an uncommon practice in what we do.
As far as what the JV or
the JV,
okay,
right?
The JV,
yeah. So let me specify that. So as wholesalers, we find deals, and either we have our own buyers and we'll sell them, which is a more common practice, or we JV with another group of people who may have buyers, which is another common practice. Now that you look at it, is more and more common. And in those scenarios, one in many cases doesn't always have a lot to do with the other.
No, and
I got an egg, and this person wants an egg sandwich.
Actually, I'm almost willing to say 90 to 95% of the time it has nothing to do with that.
Exactly, right? Exactly. So in that scenario, because this new group of wholesalers brought the buyer, they got the deal closed, everybody ate. We'll say it again.
Everybody ate.
Everybody ate.
Including the seller.
Including the seller.
No.
Now, there was a misunderstanding. Well, I won't say it was a misunderstanding. I'm going to say I think that it was understood that the seller sold the property.
Yes.
There was a person that came along that didn't understand how the transaction came about. Mm-hmm. And I'll venture to say, and I'm not, throwing shade or anything, but I'll venture to say the person that came along doesn't truly understand how wholesaling works.
Absolutely. And I will also venture to say that the person who came along that does not understand how wholesaling works also does not respect the wholesaling game.
Listen.
I'll venture to say that just because of information that I know.
Got it.
But
Okay.
at the end of the day, here's my thing, which is our problem now.
Mm-hmm.
In business and just in life, period. You worried about the wrong thing.
Yes.
You worried about the wrong thing. You see what I'm saying? Like, the fact, like, and this is what I mean by, we got to grow up.
Yeah.
We acting like children. Like, you almost 50, you 40, you 30, what that, we all grown here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, my thing is that first and foremost, whenever you do anything, and this is just part of the code, people see me talk about the G code. The G code is just my moral and my value system. Mm-hmm. That's it, my religion. Part of my code is that, listen, make sure your facts are 1,000% correct, number one. Number two, other part of my code is we don't go to social media.
Right.
I'm sorry. That's just me. Now, I'm different.
That's 100.
I'm real different. Nowadays, everybody go to but we don't go to social.
Yeah.
Right? And my third thing is that you don't make assumptions based on things that you don't know. Right?
Man,
and that's just grown up behavior.
We're gonna just take that mic and drop it on the ground for you, bro.
I mean, that's just adult behavior.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And that's just being solid within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel as though that we in a city, we in a place now, we in a time where people like to show people love. People like to, put their opinion and their views on other individuals, and it's like, listen, however you feel about it is okay.
Right.
But you have to understand we're on opposite sides of the spectrum. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell people all the time, like, as a wholesaler, we trying to get it for the lowest price.
Yeah.
Sell it for a lower price.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
Yes.
So that our investor can make money on the back end.
Definitely.
And then our agent can make money at that high price.
Definitely.
To get that high commission.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
An agent's job is to get it at the highest price initially, so that they can get the highest check, right?
Right.
So I liken this too. If both of us are going to the same place, we both have two different operations and two different ways that we're coming at selling.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So it does bump heads.
Yeah.
It really does, right?
I think it's important. We need to break that down again, what you said, because there are some elements in there that I think I want to make sure folks are clear on. But I want to say it again, assumptions. I want to get a little bit more of that narrative that was put out there. I want to make sure we help understand what the actual picture of that is as it relates to what we do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, from that situation, the property was sold, and this, that, and the other. All that happened, and then somebody else got involved, and they were fed some misinformation. Right. And based on the misinformation they were fed, a lot of assumptions, just like she said, again, assumptions. A lot of assumptions were made based on that misinformation. And a lot of accusations began to fly without getting any solid information. You only got one side of the story, and then there was, I'll say it, there was a news story. There was a news story without having the full factual data of what the whole situation came about. Now, what I want to get back to now is I want to break down, like you said, we look at getting the lowest price possible and doing a wholesale deal. And in this situation, in any situation, the lowest price possible is for a reason.
Yes.
The lowest price possible is because there are other things that are going to take place. Once this property is contracted by a wholesaler, what we know and what we do is we go for that specific price. First of all, there's a formula. There's a formula to it. And sometimes we can't even get the number from the formula.
Right. Most times in this market, we can't get the number.
We can't get the number, right. So if we were to stick to our formula, the price that we'd offer would be much less.
Much less.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And that formula is in place because there's a certain amount of money that the wholesaler expects to make, which is okay.
Yeah.
There's a certain amount of money that the investor that's going to buy that house and fix it up and take most of the risk. There's a certain amount of money that they expect to make.
Yep.
Right? And then ultimately, and their amount of money is being made based on what ultimately the agent is going to make.
Exactly, because they're the ones who are going to be able to sell that property.
Exactly.
For that profit, hopefully, if they do their job right.
Right. So that's the thing I think in this particular scenario, the major piece that was missed is that this property was bought not to take advantage of anybody, because it's worth what it's worth as it sits. the misunderstanding or the misconception is that it's worth more because there are other properties around it that have sold for more.
Exactly.
Without taking into account what was done to make those properties sell for more.
And that's the piece too. Like when we talk about what the wholesaler is gonna make, right?
Yes.
There's a lot that goes into that. I know people, me myself. I mean, I know people spending 5 figures a month in marketing.
Man,
in marketing.
I want you to break that piece down right there.
So like, I mean, let's be real.
They don't get that.
Like so, and I hope there are agents on here right now because I would love for them to understand this piece, right?
Yes. Yes.
In order for us to get the leads, right, it costs us a lot of money.
Yes.
A lot of money. Not only does it cost a lot of money, it costs a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
It costs labor costs if you're not the one actually doing the labor to make sure that your marketing dollars are being maximized, right? Now, the thing is this. When you're in business, you put money out, you in the, what they call it, the red. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Then
if you start out putting money out,
right?
in the red. Yeah.
Now you have to make money.
Yeah.
To get yourself out of the red, right? But you still haven't profited yet.
Right.
And the profit is where you actually take care of your family. You increase the business.
Yes.
You're able to continue to do business and provide deals, right? So once you get into the black, and see, this is how I think. When I look at deals, I say, okay, how much do I have to make per deal to make sure that I can clear marketing costs, labor costs, living, taxes, and scaling?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
That's all these things. And how many of them at that number do I have to do to make sure we good every single month? Right. So this is still business, which is what the agent is missing. So my man who did the bandit sign, I don't even know. I've never met him.
Right.
My man who did the bandit sign, we don't know how many bandit signs he put out.
Exactly.
Bandit signs are $1 to $1.50 each. Right.
Right.
So he could have put out 5,000 bandit signs for all we know.
Right.
He could have bought a list and cold call for all we know. Lists are very expensive. Skip tracing is expensive.
Right.
So as an agent where you're getting listings and your broker is providing you with leads and you can get on the MLS and find expired listings for free, mind you. Right. We have to spend money to get those leads.
Some agents spend money.
They
should know the game. They should,
but they act like they don't. You know what I'm saying? So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. Right. I'm like, but you should know, right? So in any business, you have to spend that money to make that money. And my thing is this: is like, if you're able to close a deal and you're able to make $20,000, let's just say, right, as a wholesaler, right, and you make that 20, but it cost you 15,000 to make that 20. How profitable were you? $5,000.
Right.
If you do that every month, that's $60,000 a year. That's regular lifestyle.
And I don't want y'all to chime in. You know, some people are putting comments, and I want to make sure y'all chime in, especially agents, investors, wholesalers, please. Whatever level you are.
Questions, anything.
Any questions you got, make sure you guys chime in. Make sure you put your questions in, your comments. We got Charlotte Hudson. She said all agents are not equal when it comes to this real estate business. She says, I'm an investor, wholesaler, transactional engineer, and real estate agent.
And then that's the other thing, too. Agents also, like she said, are not created equal, the same way how all wholesalers are not created equal.
Yes.
And I was just telling my wife last night, like, yo, I like to remain as balanced as I possibly can, because we was having a conversation about our kids last night. We got 2 boys, 2 girls, and we were just talking, and I was just telling her, like, yo, I try to remain as balanced as I possibly can in situations. So I'm going to tell you, like, I'm not going to just say, like, all of us are super good.
Right.
We not all good, like, you know, and this is a fact. And we know some of us who are not all good, right? But even as an agent, just because you got that license don't make you automatically good.
Yes.
And that's the issue.
That's true. And I think, you know, the thing I think that agents stand behind in some cases is they think that when they get a license they're automatically good because that's what it appears to an uneducated seller. Because this person has a license, that means they are the authority on how this works.
Exactly.
It's cats that got driver's license that shouldn't even be on the road.
Don't even know how to drive. Like, and then my thing is like, you know, and I'm gonna say it like this because this is just a part of my life and my experiences. But I mean, listen, how long it take to get a real estate license?
3
I mean,
weeks,
we can go get. I mean,
6
if you go full time, you could probably pop it out in a week or 2.
Yeah.
I mean, how hard is it? It's really not that hard.
Not that hard. Yeah.
So I need for y'all, with all love and respect, I need for y'all to stop acting like you were here, and so many levels above what we do.
Yeah.
Because without wholesalers, none of this would be possible.
Yes, this
and
is
that's
true.
what needs to be understood.
Yeah.
The off-market deals that have title issues, that have emotional distress. Like when you're talking about somebody who I did a deal earlier with a guy, his mom died in the house.
Wow.
He didn't even want to go to the house.
Wow.
Let alone talk to an agent about it. He's like, man, I just want to get it done quick. I don't want to have to be going over there showing her all these things. So we deal with those type of situations. We deal with people who are not in front of the market.
Right.
They're not looking to sell, right? But they have situations where they need help.
Yes.
A person who just getting divorced. I've dealt with that plenty of times. Like, we have to separate our assets. Now, what agent do you know is going to sit down? We're going to go through your issues as a husband and wife. They're going to be a therapist. Remember, we problem solving, right? So I'll sit down with a husband and wife, and I'm a therapist at this point. Yeah. So what we going to do? Even back in the day when I'm cutting hair, guys sitting in the chair, I'm a coach, I'm a therapist to you. You talking to me about your issues. I'm providing you a service while giving you advice to help you through your issues, right? Agents don't do that. They gonna drive around and show you the house. They want it ready made.
They don't drive around no
They don't even drive around no more, I don't think, right? So they want it ready made. And who brings it ready made?
Right.
We do.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing that needs to be respected. You see what I'm saying?
And you know, I mean, to your point, nothing really moves now. I know back in the day, investors would go out and look for their own properties and do all that.
You get your REOs and stuff like that. But is that popping anymore?
We ain't got. I'm an investor. I buy houses and I fix houses up. I'm building my portfolio now, and it's like I don't have time to be driving around looking for houses.
Looking for deals.
You see what I mean?
Negotiating.
I don't have time for that.
Exactly.
So I understand the importance. I mean, I still wholesale. So I understand as an investor the importance of what it means to get somebody who's already in the field.
Exactly.
Every day, already negotiating, know what the numbers, know what the investor is looking for. Sometimes know what the investor is looking for before the investor even know what they're looking for.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that's why it's important to have wholesalers do what wholesalers do, because wholesalers have to be educated across the spectrum.
Exactly.
And that's a major thing I want to get into. I want to talk about the art of wholesaling. Wholesalers have to be educated on how to educate the seller.
Yep. And
in many cases, when wholesalers get educated on how to educate the seller, then in some cases they got to learn how to educate the buyer.
And to what you just said, like I said, I'm all about fair play. Let's be real. We as wholesalers, as a whole, right? Because we only as good as our counterpart.
Right.
When you're talking about the view as a whole, right? We have done some of this damage to ourselves.
Yeah.
So let's just keep it 1,000. You see what I'm saying? And I like to keep it 1,000.
Yes.
Their agents, sometimes some lawyers, their view of wholesalers. Some of it is, internal. I'm just not feeling you.
Right.
But some of it is justified feelings.
Yes.
Right. Because, like you said, it's such a low barrier to entry that people don't even care to take the time to learn how to do it properly.
Right.
So when you're not doing it right, and agents only experience with wholesalers are people who don't know what the hell they're doing.
Man.
Now I get it.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not just sitting here like, oh, y'all tripping, we all good, and no, I understand that there have been plenty, because I've had experiences with wholesalers and good.
Brother.
You have,
you
know what I'm saying? So I get it. You know what I'm saying? But we can't just sit here and say that, oh, what you do is illegal, or you trash, or you not, because you've had a couple bad experiences.
Right.
Because I have agents I love working with, but I also had some bad experiences.
Right.
All y'all ain't bad,
and I guess it's akin to, dare I make this comparison? We talk about when police officers. We talk about police officers.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was just thinking it. Go ahead.
Dare I make this comparison? We think about police officers. Yeah, there's some bad apples in the bunch. There's some police officers that have done some ridiculous things. But I look at those situations that in situations police officers respond to what they're accustomed to experiencing.
Exactly.
And when they're accustomed to experiencing somebody acting a fool on them,
exactly,
their first thought is, I'm gonna meet this fool where they are before it gets to where I don't want it to be.
Exactly.
And
that that might be a little controversial.
Right, I know. I'm a pause on that.
But it's the truth.
It is.
I, when you said it, I was thinking it because my thing is this, and I was going to use this analogy a second ago. It's like, and I can only go off my experience.
Yeah.
It's like even in the streets, like people would get mad at the police for locking them up, or like, but you gotta like this is the game. It's my job to do my dirt and not get caught.
Absolutely.
It's your job to catch me.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, let's think about it, right?
It is what it is.
So how am I gonna get mad at you for beating me? The same way you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So if I'm ducking you for 8 years and I don't get touched,
yeah.
in real life, I don't get touched in nothing serious, and then you get me on the 8th year, what I look like, you bro, like, yeah, you did a dirty move, but at the end of the day, you won, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right? And
yeah.
I always got respect from police when I would get arrested because I was never the guy who would be like, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah.
It's all good, baby. Why? Because I get it.
Yeah, I get it.
I understand.
The times that I've been arrested a whole lot, but the times that I have, it's just like, I understand that you have a job to do.
Boom.
And I don't want the stress of what comes with your job already to have to be taken out on me. Dude, we could both go home and have a good night's sleep.
Exactly. You got a job to do, and I'm going against your job.
Right.
I'm going to be offended because I'm going against what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
The same way you going against what I'm supposed to be doing. Right? So that's the thing it's the same thing with agents and wholesalers.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I respect the fact that you're trying to get the most.
Yes.
If you beat me,
yes.
hey, congratulations. Let's go have a drink.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But if I beat you,
Absolutely.
I expect that same respect.
Right. And I think the conversation, I want to make sure that, we're not just making this conversation about wholesalers and agents. I want to make sure people get that. The reason we're speaking specifically to that is that's what's been the narrative from one side to the other. Like, I'm gonna do this so that this will slow down you being able to do that.
Yep.
Not recognizing that if you attempt to slow down what we're doing over here, that's going to affect you too.
It's going to affect you.
You know what I mean? You might not see how it will affect you, but
the bottom line will be affected.
It will be affected.
Because yes, you can still get on-market properties. A investor can buy a property off the MLS and flip it and things like that. But when that comes to that bottom line, there's a whole plethora of properties off the market that would not be available on the market had it not been for wholesalers.
And there was a point that was made in this conversation that some people, I'll say some people, I won't be specific, don't deal with wholesalers based on the level of business that they do. But to say something like that, in my opinion, is complete ignorance.
It's looking down.
That's like saying, I sell $1 million homes, but I don't deal with wholesalers. I've never wholesaled $1 million home, but I've wholesaled a multifamily property.
Yep.
So, a multifamily property that eventually got converted to condos. And wait, I think more specifically, I think the comment was, I deal with condos, so I don't deal with wholesalers.
Yeah.
So this property that I wholesaled, that was a multifamily property that eventually got converted to condos, that would be to say that this property, I can sell these condos, and I had nothing to do with the wholesaler. Exactly. Yeah, you had nothing to do with the wholesaler, but had the wholesaler not made this deal happen, those wouldn't be condos for you to sell.
But see, and to that point, you technically did have something to do with
Absolutely.
it. Indirectly.
Absolutely.
Indirectly, right?
Absolutely.
Because I mean, we did one in Brookhaven, and like I said, I don't wholesale. I mean, most people don't wholesale $1 million homes unless you're in LA.
Right.
Unless you're in California, right?
And they
you're
do.
In the Bay Area.
They do.
And they do it out there.
They
right?
do it,
But even here, we did one in Brookhaven, and it's like, okay, we sold it for $390. The guys, my brother working on the project management, they building out everything. And the agent's going to list it. My sister, actually, she's the agent. She's going to list it for 1.2 or 1.3 million, right? So you get $1 million listing, right? But you're forgetting, you don't know how to count. You're forgetting the fact that you would not have this listing had the wholesaler not bought it, had the flipper not tore it down and rebuilt it to give to you to make that fat check that you're going to make on that 1.2 million.
Yeah.
And that's the part people can't count. that's my issue. It's like, listen, like you got to be able to count and look at the whole picture. You so one track minded that you can't even see the whole picture. Yeah. And that's what we got to do. We got to help people see the whole picture. Because I appreciate everybody.
And I've been fascinated by this business of real estate, man, for a long time. Yeah. And I like the shirt that you had on yesterday. Oh, yeah, real estate changed my life. Real estate changed my life. Yeah,
those coming soon too. Those on the way. Yeah, they in production.
Real estate changed my life, and I have to say, man, for those of us, it's some people that think we just do this just to get a check.
Nah, negative. Negative. And like we gotta clear that up because I do it to get the check. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's bigger than just the check. Right. Because it's how I'm getting the check. Yes. You feel what I'm saying? Because I was getting money back then, but it don't feel like how I feel now.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? So it's different. It's levels to it, right? And I think that misconstrued, that, like you said, this game changed my life. I know it's changed your life. It's changed probably most of the people in real estate. Their lives have been changed. Definitely. Through real estate, whether you're a wholesaler, agent, whatever it is. Yes. Right? Yes. So with that being the case, you got to have that. Like, I hold this game near and dear to me. Like, I love the game. Right. Because of what it's done for me. Absolutely. And my people. It's changed the life of family members around me. Yes. Right? So, and friends of mine. So with that love, you have to have respect for it. Right. Do you really love it if you don't respect it?
That's real. That's real. And I gotta ring the bell, man, too, man. Getting into talking about the art of wholesaling. Mm-hmm. The one thing that I want to make sure that anybody, I won't say specific to agents or anything, but anybody that is doing any area of real estate investing should respect those of us that take the time to educate people. Yeah. And why it's a passion of ours to educate people. I know my purpose for educating is I want more people to know how to do what I do, so I'm not competing with somebody who doesn't have a clue of what I do.
Yeah, what do you do, right?
You see what I mean? Yeah. So that means agents, y'all need to come to the classes we teach you.
And it's extra checks.
Right, exactly.
Just saying.
Just so you don't, I mean, and not even if you're not interested in wholesaling, I'll say this. Even if you're not interested in wholesaling, you should come to the classes that we teach just so you understand what we do.
Yes, that's part of being a real businessman, businesswoman. Yes. Like, you feel like I don't contract, I don't rehab, but I get what you're doing.
Absolutely.
I understand what you're doing because that's leverage for me. Right. When I understand how the agent is going to list the property on the back end, that gives me leverage on the front end. Yes. You see what I'm saying? Yes. Like, and that's what they missing. That's, exactly. And I get it. Y'all ain't entrepreneur. You ain't been doing this for long. You need to learn. Definitely. There's a certain type of way that you have to think. Yeah. Right. And like you said, like if you understand that, your opportunities increase because as an agent, if you understand how a wholesaler works and you come across a lead that you can't do anything with, oh my God! Like, I mean, I ain't gonna get into how compensation works, but at the end of the day, you can get compensated off of that by passing that on to a wholesaler, putting your commission on and working the commission. You see what I'm saying? Now your bottom line increases. You can take that $3,000 vacation with your family for Christmas or for the holidays because you understand how that game works. But if you have no idea, just threw away an extra $3,000 to $5,000.
And for an agent to say, I don't work with wholesalers, that's like saying there's a whole nother pile of money that you don't want to touch.
And that's cool because you licensed and you uppity. That's cool. You can keep your uppity ass on up there and we'll keep getting this money. And then we have them agents who not uppity who gonna be like, yeah, let me eat with you. And that was my point at the beginning. If you not, that's cool. Go on over there. Yeah. But those of y'all who want to, we open arms.
Right. I just think it's foolish to even make a statement like that you don't deal with wholesalers because of whatever arrogance you want to add to it. I just think that's limiting from the perspective of now, because that's not saying that we don't sell pots and pans. I can see if we sell pots and pans. That's part of stuff you don't want to be involved in. I get it. But when we're all dealing with houses and it's just another avenue to income where you can either get a referral or give a referral. And I believe as a result of having a relationship with somebody, and I'm going to speak again to specifics, having a relationship with somebody, or something like a relationship anyway, that deals with houses, the intent was to give a referral.
Which is showing love. Positive. That's a positive energy. That's a positive energy transformation, right?
Absolutely.
Transfer.
Absolutely.
My intent is to help you make some money.
Yes. Yes. and from this perspective, I know you can't give me anything.
Because you don't do what I'm looking for. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Maturity, adult.
Yes,
like, we gotta get into, you feel like, and and like I said, I'm gonna take some responsibility because I am out here teaching people, doing things like that. So I'm gonna take some responsibility in the fact that I'm gonna make sure whatever I give to the people, knowledge-wise, is knowledge that can help you be better.
Absolutely.
Because, like I said in the beginning, we can't just ignore the fact that within our own space of the community, because we have a real estate community, and then you have different segments of the community, right? So within our own segment of the community, I can't ignore the fact that we ourselves have been annoyed with ourselves.
Right.
Boy, you see what I'm saying?
Oh, I like talking to you, man. When you break stuff down, boy.
We can't ignore that fact, man.
Yeah.
Like, we all been talking about it. The
Absolutely.
state, even from a couple years ago when you did the state of wholesale, like, so we got to take responsibility to make sure before we come at anybody else, all our I's are dotted, T's are crossed, and we are doing the best that we can possibly do to govern our segment.
Definitely.
And make sure that our people are doing the right things.
And that's what the conversation was about yesterday.
Yeah.
We had a conversation about coming together as a community and making sure we govern ourselves so that we don't have as many of those Wild West wholesalers
exactly
out there doing things crazy to affect how we do business as a whole. And I want to talk a little bit about that. I got a little bit more insight on how we're going to make that happen. And actually, while we're there, I'm actually taking pre-orders for Wholesalers Lives Matter T-shirts. And part of the proceeds are going to go towards investing in growing that organization that we're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know how that looks, but I know you said you got some insight on that, but I think that's like some checks and balances.
Definitely.
Without the government.
Absolutely.
I don't rock with government.
You don't want the government to get involved.
I don't want no real estate agent alliance, whatever they call that. I don't want none of your input because you don't know how we play the game.
Yes.
We know what we
do. True.
Right? So we have to come up with a place. Like I was saying in a meeting yesterday, like I'm from Jersey, like back then, like when the neighborhood was crazy, the Muslims governed the block. We didn't need police.
Definitely.
So we got to do that same type of thing, like govern our own space.
I think we can be successful at it, man, because there's enough of us that have our head on straight, that know how what we do impacts a community as a whole. And I believe, having that input and having that collective come together, man, we can make this thing
that changes the game
so much better. Yeah,
it changes the game. Like, cause even when you look at different regions in our space, like look at the Phoenix region, right? I went out to Phoenix earlier this year, and it blew my mind what I saw. Nothing but love.
Yeah.
Nothing but just. You feel what I'm saying? Like sharing with other. I'm talking about investors on investors. Like just sharing, nothing but love. Everybody building, coming together. Everybody I met with made 7 figures or better per year.
Wow.
Like, but they knew each other and they all shared information. Not only that, I'm in the room. They're sharing information with me, and I'm from Atlanta. And
we're gonna talk about how that happens and the collective of them that they all look like us. But they understand the business.
Exactly, and that's my point. Because I said when I was there, I was like, man, if we could have something like this back home,
man,
if this that vibe.
Yeah.
Because I think Brandon Barnes, he did the REI Live event when I forgot how you put Jam G or something like that. He came because they do like 75 deals a month or whatever, 65, 75 a month. But they focus strictly on dispositions.
Wow.
But the thing is that he's from out there in that Phoenix area, and when he came here, I was just thinking like, man, if we can do what I saw then and what he was saying there here, it changes the game for us.
Yes.
Because there's respect amongst amongst the peers.
Right.
There's love amongst the peers. Everybody's looking out for one another. They go into each other's baby showers and weddings and stuff, and making money together, referring people, and then not only that, taking the time to educate those up underneath on the same way.
I think, again, my fairy tale way of thinking, I think we can do it, man.
It's possible, most definitely. Yeah, it's definitely possible. We just gotta have
And I think here's the crazy thing. Here's the silver lining in all this. When this whole situation popped off, there was a sense of urgency to come together. Let's put this thing, so I think that might be, as a result of that situation, this might be, this forming this organization that we're talking about and forming this alliance might be the thing that helps us get to where we need to be and doing what we do.
Exactly.
Getting that kind of vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
Work with one another.
It's necessary now because, like you said earlier, not only is the barrier to entry low, really the low barrier to entry isn't really the issue. We live in a time now where everything is wave and hype based.
Yes.
So we just so happen to be part of the wave now.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be in real estate now. I want to build wealth for my legacy and all that. Like, y'all ain't even think about legacy. Like, stop it. That's what I mean. Like, we be lying to ourselves. Y'all killing me. Like, bro, half y'all ain't even think about no legacy. Like,
tell these cats the truth there, bro.
Like, let's be real. Like, you just want to hop on the wave, and it's cool.
Right. It's cool.
It ain't no problem with that, but be real about it.
Be real about it. And what you gotta understand is hopping on the wave requires you to have some grip. You can't hop on and think you go ride and not fall off.
Man, say that shit again, man. For real. Like, for real. You gotta learn how to ride the wave.
You gotta learn how to ride the wave.
Come on now.
This ain't one of the things. And the perfect example, man, is what happened in 2008, 2009. Everybody was a real estate investor. Until that the shit stopped.
I was just telling Jay the other day, man, I respect y'all, man. Like, a lot of y'all OGs, like, I consider my OGs in the game, like you, Jay, Ramon, a lot of people. And, everybody, y'all know who y'all are. I salute y'all all the time. Y'all know who y'all are. But I respect it because y'all actually had to go through a moment where it wasn't sweet in this business.
Right.
And even me, I haven't been through that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning from y'all. I'm preparing and getting ready to see how am I going to maneuver through this shit, because I'm just resilient like that. I'm not going to die. I'm going nowhere.
Well, I know enough about you, man, and I know how you move and what you do. You move with integrity. You move with intention.
Yeah.
And doing it as a business.
Yeah.
It's people like that will survive what's pending. Yeah. I don't think it's going to be doom and gloom.
Yeah, it ain't going to be doom and gloom.
It's something pending. But it's not doom and gloom like people making it seem.
Because the crazy thing is, don't nobody know nothing.
We
all just speculating. Like, at the end of the day, we like it's gonna be
because of the timing. We're way beyond the timing of when we were supposed to have our correction. But I think the economy, man. Let me just keep going. Emotions drive the economy. And when you sell people on the fear of the economy crashing and they buy into it, that's when the economy crashes.
That makes sense.
But it's less people buying into the fear. Yeah. So that means that the less and less people that buy into the fear, the longer we have to ride the wave.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because when people start saying, "Oh, it's gonna happen," you got people start pulling out, they stop investing, they stop buying stock, and they stop doing stop going shopping, they stop doing all the things.
Now the economy stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
That's when it's like, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
When people start hearing before the bubble's gonna burst, I heard it. I ain't pay attention to it. I was like, yeah, whatever, the bubble's gonna burst. And then stock market started going down. Everybody's like, it's going down. I'm pulling everything out. Then it crashed. Yeah. You got banks crash and insurance agencies crash. Yeah. It's stuff like that when people start pulling their money out because of fear, man. It happens.
It's crazy because like when that happened, I was in the barbershop in the street, so I wasn't doing real estate at that time. But when it happened, see, my thing was, I'm 18. I'm young as hell. I'm like, you know what?
18, man?
I was 18 then. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, crash. I'm like, I'll create my own economy. Like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just, but to keep it 1,000, as I look back, I'm like, we had a drought in the streets. Clients wasn't coming in every week. Now they every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. So I did feel it.
Yeah.
But since I wasn't in that real estate industry, I didn't have the feeling that I didn't get hit like y'all got hit.
You know, and I would say I was fortunate, man. I didn't get hit. My hit was ignorance.
Okay, got you.
That was my hit. My hit was I sold my last house the February 2008.
Oh,
made a ton of money.
Yeah, okay.
But I didn't invest it in it.
You ain't buy when it was time.
Right. I didn't buy.
Gotcha.
You know, those they start being 5
2,
or 10,
3, 4,000.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, I ain't spent no money on that.
Got you. Okay.
Because what I knew then is that it had bottomed out. But by the time it bottomed out, my bank account had bottomed out. So I was like,
well, I can't do nothing with it now. So would you say that that's one of the biggest things that you learned is to be in position for that timing?
Absolutely. That's why I said everything I'm buying, I'm keeping now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm portfolio. See, then I was cash rich but asset poor.
Gotcha.
Now I'm building my assets.
Yeah. So we in the same place, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm in the same space. Like I'm in a place where I've been transactional for 18 years.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I've been hustling and everything, but people it sounds good.
Right.
But in the grand scheme of being a leader and a person who has to provide and set certain things in place for your family, you should hustle, but for business.
Oh yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So my thing is that being so transactional, I'm in a place now where I'm trying to get the cash flow. I need something that's going to come. If I sit back and don't do nothing, which is a rarity. But if I sit back and don't do nothing for 30 days, 60 days, I ain't got to worry about nothing.
Right.
We still clicking every single month. Right.
See that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at peeping out the window when it's raining cats and dogs.
Yep, exactly.
And even my grass got umbrellas.
Exactly. That's where I'm at with it. So I'm on that same thing, just building.
And that's the thing, man. That's why what I'm teaching now is from a perspective of buy and hold, buy multifamily. You know, because if one person stops paying the rent, the other person gonna cover it. You know what I mean? So buy multifamily, buy and hold everything you can, buy and keep your hands on it.
And learns, for a side note to that, start learning about creative finance and strategy.
Yes.
So I do some creative finance. I'm by no means an expert, but I get it and I do some. But that right there, I'm actually studying. I'm about to invest a nice piece of change into learning more about and getting an actual mentor who specializes in the creative financing. Yeah. Because, you talking about getting properties with creative financing for little to no dough.
Little to nothing. And while we on that, I'm gonna do a quick shout out to this. I am still looking for credit partners for people who have decent credit, 680 and above. I'm still looking for credit partners. We're doing multifamily, we're doing Airbnb, we're starting small businesses. So anybody that wants to partner with us, just based on having good credit. If we like you have a job. If you don't have a job, that's cool. But credit partners, we actually got 3 people that started with us last week as a result of me putting it out there. So still looking for credit partners. Inbox me. We can definitely talk about it.
Yo, you holding in Detroit right now? Up top?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So the art of wholesaling, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. We've been going on and on, man. I want to make sure the folks get some benefit of being here as well.
I'm good. This is benefit to me. I'm able to talk and things like that. But man, the art of wholesaling, man, it's a boot camp that I have. It's a full day boot camp. So I've been doing coaching and things like that, throughout probably the past 3 years, I think.
Okay.
It's been, and I've been wanting to do something where I can give a full day worth of information.
Right.
But my thing is when I give the information, I don't like overview.
Right.
I'm giving you the details.
Let's do it.
As much as I can possibly give you, right? To
Mm-hmm.
where you can leave and you can be prepared to go out and take action.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But the key is making sure that the whole reason I'm doing this because, and I kind of struggle with this a little bit because I'm part of me is do I even want any more of y'all in the game? Because y'all annoying me at this
You're
point.
right.
You know what I'm saying? For real. That's just for real. Y'all annoying me. Ain't nobody for real about this. You know what I'm saying? So that's that part. And then the other part is, if you're going to get in the game, I'd rather you not mess it up for me.
That's
right. So I want to show you how to do it the right way.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of where it comes from. My dad always told me, "Oh, you gonna be a speaker, or be this or be that." You know what I'm saying? And then, but I don't look at myself as a speaker, right?
Okay.
But when I was talking to my cousin one day, he helped me understand that I'm more of a teacher than a speaker. Yeah. So that helped me kind of embrace all right, yeah, you know, I am a teacher. Like, I do be teaching.
Bruh,
like,
bruh,
you know?
let's keep it 100, man. You know, when you come to the meeting, bruh, and we all deep into what we talking about, and then you say something, everybody shut up and start looking at you like, what he said. I mean, because, man, you got a way in your delivery, man, of making people pay attention. Mm-hmm. Because you got a no-nonsense vibe about yourself, and I like that. Because, like you said, you don't like to do the overview.
Yeah.
You want to get to the details. You see what I mean? Yeah. And especially when we were talking about what we were talking about yesterday, he was like, yo, we're meeting about it, but what we gonna do about it? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, let's get to the nitty gritty.
Get 1 or 2 steps.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So we ain't gotta take a whole lap.
Right.
Just take a step or two. You know.
But that's necessary, man. That's very necessary.
But that's where it stemmed from. So when I do the class, man, I just go through each piece of the business, your foundational piece, getting your mental right, getting your scheduling right. The scheduling to me, I found is a big issue for people that's new. Yeah. Is figuring out how to do it around what they already have going on. Right. So I like to, get into that and show them like, okay, this is how you can maneuver your schedule within the business. And I keep it real. I tell people like, listen, you're not gonna make 100 calls and get a deal. Right. I tell people like it's gonna take about 5,000 calls. Yeah. And just so that you can look crazy, like, what, it's gonna take that many? Like, expect that. Expect it. Expect that. You know what I'm saying? Because
listen, that's real. That's real. They need to know that.
Exactly. Yeah. A big part of the class is deal evaluation. Mm-hmm. And learning how to do the numbers. Right. Because none of us are perfect with numbers, but you want to be as good as you possibly can. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where you make the money at. Absolutely. Without getting the numbers right, you ain't gonna get no deals.
That's real.
Excuse me. I tell people you're going to play with yourself emotionally. Because we can leave, me and you can leave right now and go get 10 contracts in about an hour and a half to 2 hours. Yeah. Easy money, right? Yeah. Hop on the phone, go knock on a couple doors, and I'll give you $1 million. Yeah. But that means nothing if we can't sell it.
Absolutely.
So you playing with your emotions. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I got a contract. Because I did this when I first started. I'm just locking stuff up. Like, all right, bet. All right, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? Taking $10,000. Okay, cool. Right. And but you get hyped, and then you realize you can't sell the deal. Because it's overpriced. Right. So now you get down and out. Now you're like, oh, it don't work. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's the cycle that people continue to go through. So I'm trying to give real life expectations. Mm-hmm. So we'll do that. And then I just love teaching people, man. That's it. Just showing them the game that really changed my life. Like in a real way.
That's what's up, man. And that's why I honor you for what you do, man. I was supposed to actually come to your first class, man. I couldn't make it, but I was like, man, because it's always, when I see people that I know what they're doing, actually teaching the class, I'm like, I probably ain't got to teach one this time.
Exactly. It took me a while to do it, man, to be honest with you, because I was telling my dad this one time, I'm like, yo, I don't want to be the guy that's teaching it and not living it. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I have to. Like, my whole life is I have to live when I'm talking. Right. And not only that, I didn't know. It took me a while to realize that, it's working for me, but I need to see somebody else have some success with it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's what took me a while to even, because people are like, yo, when you going to do a class? I'm like, I need to see first. Yeah. And after coaching, close to 30 people now on that made money. Right. So we coach more, but 30 people that actually went and got checks off the information. Yes. I realized that, you know what? Oh yeah, this worked. Right. Like, I knew it worked, but I'm just saying like anybody can do it for real, you know? And as long as you take what I'm saying. So now when I'm talking to people, I'm confident. I'm like, listen, if you just do what I'm saying, you're gonna win. Yeah. And they like, yo, what you mean? And some people might take it for arrogance or whatever it is, but I'm like, listen, just do what I'm telling you, because the same thing I'm telling you, I told her and look at her. Right. I told him and look at him.
That's the challenge I have now. When people, when you try to tell people, if you do what I tell you, it will work. Yeah. And that's the biggest challenge people have with themselves is people want to be told what to do. Yeah. But oftentimes they don't always do what you tell them to do.
I had to get over that. And that.
Me too, man. That was my challenge. I had to get over that.
Me and my boss had plenty of conversations about this. I told plenty of people about this, and I had to get out of, because I wanted you to win so bad that I'd be upset. Or I might be like, you ain't serious. You going boom. You ain't doing what I'm telling you to do, right? I had to get out of that. I'm like, you know what? My only job in life right now, as far as that piece is concerned, is to just give you the information. Yeah. What you do, I can't help. Right. You know what I'm saying? You want one-on-one, even my one-on-one clients now, it's month to month.
Right.
Like if I tell you to do something 2 weeks in a row and you don't, you probably won't hear from me.
Right.
Because I just don't
Right.
have time for it. I don't care how much you paying me. I don't need it.
And that's the thing that I, people need to get about getting a mentor. Mm-hmm. Yes, you invest your money in somebody telling you what to do, but you actually have to do it.
Gotta do it.
You actually have to do what they tell you to do.
You gotta do it.
Some of my students, man, invest, quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why you ain't doing what I tell you to do?
I'm about to go up on my prices for real.
Man,
like,
listen.
Because I'm killing myself. Everybody like, yo, you killing yourself.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know, $100, $200, boom, boom. But because I was thinking the other day, I'm like, yo, like the game, I'm like this. Bro, like in 30, you can make 10 G's.
Right.
Like all you have to put up was couple
$200.
$100. I paid more than that for my education. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I might need to go up on that ticket a little bit. Like,
and it's only because I think and I'm gonna say this, I think people if we teach them that they don't have to spend enough money to educate themselves, they will always take advantage. Take for granted what we do.
Education. Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll take for granted what we do. They figure because people been sold on that, get in for no money and no credit for the longest, and they figure I shouldn't have to pay for a mentor if I can do it for free.
Even with that line, like I probably started doing this about a year ago. I tell people like, listen, no money, no credit, but you're gonna need some money to market because cats like you got people real literal.
Yes.
So I ain't need no money and no credit. What I gotta pay for this? What's this? Like, listen, you don't need no money and no credit to buy the house.
Yes.
But you need money to put yourself in front of the people who would want to sell you the house.
Yes.
Like, and that's the biggest thing.
Yes. And my biggest thing in teaching is network. And some people are like, it's $25 to go to that meeting. That's part of you getting to the people.
I mean, that ain't nothing but a 2 for $20 and Applebee's. Like, I mean, come on, what we talking with the tip? You paying $30. Like, so come on now, like, let's be real. And that's like, it's
100, bro.
Like it's perspective, and I'm so over like because you know what? You want to know something, Glenn? I don't get the opportunity to make the excuses.
That's real.
I don't get that. I'm sorry, I don't get the opportunity.
Yeah.
Like if I don't do something, it's not looking good.
Right.
There's gonna be something bad. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm not, bro. I got a wife and 4 kids. Like I don't care about your little situation. Like I've been taking care of my family since I was 19 years old. I don't care about your little situation.
Right.
Like if you really want to do it, do it.
Yeah. It's that simple though. It's really that simple.
It's really that simple.
It's really that simple.
Like,
All right, man. Well, we're gonna wrap it up, and he said, John says if you don't spend money on educating yourselves now, you'll soon you will spend some somehow later.
Oh, you gonna pay?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you gonna pay?
I'm a definite witness to that.
Yeah, like I ain't getting no mentor to flip houses.
Yeah,
I took my first L ever in real estate on a house, like without like a renovation. I did. Yeah. I only done like 4 flips. You know what I'm saying? Because I realized like, man, I'm not really a fan.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's cool, and that was one of those things that I was doing because I was like, and I'm gonna keep it straight G. I was like, it just be like, it's a good look.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping G. I was like, it's a good look to flip into.
You know what I'm saying? At night to try to figure out who busted windows out your house.
Exactly. I'm like, man, I'm good on that. Like, if I ain't making 100, I'm straight.
Right.
Like,
I can't even go to sleep because I don't know who gonna steal my air conditioning unit.
And that too, I'm like, I'm not flipping nowhere in the city because y'all be having hella stories. Like, man, I be hearing all y'all stories. Damien, Jay, John, people stealing stuff. I'm like, I
got a house now, man. We was rolling with it. Doggone permits, man. We stuck on the arborist. We ain't cutting no trees down. We waiting on the arborist to finalize our stuff, man. It done kind of stuff busting out the windows at my house. I'm like, it is what it is. Par for the course.
Yes, sir. It's all part of the game.
Yeah. All right, man. So listen, let me tell you again about these shirts. Wholesale Lives Matter. We're doing pre-sales. Shirts are $25. We're doing pre-sales. If you're looking for a Wholesale Lives Matter t-shirt, send an email to info@wholesalerslivesmatter. info@wholesalerslivesmatter. Let us know your size. Let us know how many you want. And again, part of the proceeds are going to be going to Wholesale Atlanta. Wholesale Atlanta. Wholesale Atlanta is the organization that we're actually getting together to put together to have our own governing body as it relates to wholesaling in Atlanta. Because we just want to make sure we do right make sure folks are doing right by people, make sure people are being even the people that are selling their properties are educated on how they're selling and the prices that they're selling and why they're selling for the prices that they're selling for. We just want to have a governing body in place so that we can make sure people understand the business that we're in and that it is a business. And we want to regulate ourselves before somebody else does.
I'm not with none of that.
Right.
No, sir.
So I came up with this Wholesale Lives Matter T-shirt, and I want to, have a part of those proceeds, help with getting that organization kicked off. We're actually doing something on December 17th. I was told I could talk about it. So we solidified the date. We're going to have the specifics and everything going to be coming out real soon. So mark your calendars for December 17th, and we'll be sending some information about how all of this is going to come together and how we're going to be working together as wholesalers, as investors, but as wholesaling being a part of the business that we do, a major part of the business that we do. We want to make sure people aren't just doing whatever and messing it up for everybody. So keep your eyes and ears open for that. Anything else you want to share with the folks before we go, man? When the next art wholesaling class?
We're gonna do the next art wholesaling class first quarter.
First quarter.
Yeah,
Okay.
We haven't set dates or anything yet, but we'll be setting dates next month.
Okay.
And start promoting. But we got that coming up. But just like you was talking about, December 17th, the event, that's gonna be solid. I'll definitely be in the building for that, because like I said, I'm gonna help play a role. I tell all you guys, like, whatever y'all need for me to come in and help just facilitate or have that conversation and get that understanding, you know what I'm saying, like that. And then, we got something coming up. I want everybody to kind of stay tapped in with Glenn, myself, Ramon, John Stafford, because we got something coming up in January for the community that we're going to do. Yeah. And it's going to be excellent. We want investors, agents. If you ain't none of that, we want you there.
Right.
It's going to be something real dope for the community coming up. We going to get too much details now, but it's definitely going to happen. So y'all stay tuned for that as well.
Yeah, definitely stay tuned. There's some major stuff happening, major stuff that we're going to be doing. Because, keeping it 100, wholesalers' lives matter, y'all.
Yes, sir.
So listen, man, thank you for coming out, man.
Thanks
for
doing
having
this
us today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to share this. Share this in your groups, your networks. Tell mom and daddy them about it. Tell your cousin them, even if you don't like them, they need to hear this information as well. So they might know something about wholesaling that you don't. So share this information. And again, this is the Real Life Real Estate Investing Show, where we talk about real life real estate situations, but we bring you real life real estate solutions.
Yes, sir.
And stay tuned next week. We're going to have another wholesaler coming on talking about the business of wholesaling.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. This is the rest of the real part of the show where I got to get up and press the
turn it on, right?
button.